Okay, hello everyone and happy Wednesday. We have a full body conditioning session that we are going to put ourselves through this morning on this rainy day. We're going to get you started with a warm-up, no equipment needed, as well as for our session today, there's minimal equipment, but we are going to use some specific things. I have them down here, including my dumbbells, my loop bands, and then you see it here. This is an optional piece of equipment, which is our jump rope. So if you have one, you can bring it out, and if not, we have some wonderful options that do not require the actual rope to get you moving. So let's get you started with this warm-up. We're going to come to the very end of our mat, hip width apart in the feet, soft knees, hinging the hips back, hands come down to the floor. We'll walk ourselves down to the bottom into our plank, and once we get here, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to walk back up, lifting those hips up to the ceiling. When we reach the top, we're going to reach our arms up and give ourselves a little bit of side bending action. So we'll bend over to one side, bend over to the other, and then we'll go back down and do 4 more times. So reach to the bottom, strong plank position, hips lift up to the ceiling, getting that nice opening stretch in the back of the legs, and then we side bend. Little side stretch, other side, and then we'll go back down, and we'll get you going through 3 more of those to make it 5 reps total. Let's do it. Very nice. So we'll work through these ones, take it, our sweet time with it through 5 of them. Again, that last one that you do, same thing, we'll reach the arms up, we'll bend to the side, we'll bend to the other side, and then we are actually going to walk down into a plank position. So once you're finished that last side bend, we'll walk back down. We're going to stay down here for this next one, stepping in towards that hand, opening up towards the knee, closing, stepping back into the plank, alternating legs. So now I'll do my other side, opening, and then we'll close. We're going to do 5 on each side, 10 total, where we're opening up and stepping that foot in as close as you can towards the hand, depending on how tight or how loose you are, I should say. You might step a little closer or a little bit further. We're just working with a comfortable level there, so we're not forcing anything. 10 of these total. So I'll let you guys go through those ones. Those ones always get you warmed up so fast there. So we'll get moving through 10 reps, 5 on each side. And then I have my list. Okay, so we'll finish up those ones. Awesome. And then, as we come to an end, we are going to get up off the floor and get ourselves into our hip width stance in our feet. So once again, we're going to narrow our feet out. Parallel feet, no angle in our toes, soft knees. Arms go above the head, they're going to stay above the head as we go through our overhead hip hinge. So we're pushing the hips back, pulling them forward the entire time. The arms are staying up, lifted above the head so that we do not see our hands ever this entire time. Again, trying to move through the hips only. So we're pushing the hips back, pulling the hips forward. Let's do 10 reps total of these ones. Again, as much control as possible to just move through those hips. There you go. A little bit of coordination. 10 reps. Keep your arms up there once you're done. Even if your shoulders are kind of starting to burn a little bit. We're going to widen up our feet into our squat stance. So standing a little wider than our hips, toes angled out to the side slightly. Now we shall bend the knees and sit down into 10 overhead squats. So again, we're trying to keep the arms up. Oh yes, that's part of the deal. Straight arms. So that again, we never see our hands, but rather we stay lifted above our head the entire time through as we go through 10 reps of those overhead squats. Awesome. So we'll work through those ones and taking our time trying to sit down to 90 degrees. 10 of them. And then you can relax your arms. We'll roll out our shoulders. We're going to do 3 big circles backwards and then 3 big circles forwards, as big as we can make them. One direction, and then we'll stop, keeping the arms straight down by our sides. 3 and 3. As we finish up those circles for our shoulders. We're gonna head back down onto the floor, into our all four position, working with some bird dogs. So hands in the knees, we want our shoulders stacked over the wrists, our hips stacked over the knees. We're gonna lift up opposite arm, opposite leg. You have to make sure we have a little bit of space behind us, you don't kick anything. And opposite arm and leg, they're going to come in, not touch the floor, and then reach back out. We're again trying to lift that arm over the head, kicking the heel towards the wall behind us. Every rep will count, going through 10 on each side. So 10 over here. Again, not touching the floor. We don't have to touch those two together. We'll just come in and then reach out, and 10. And then we'll switch and we'll do 10 on the other side. Awesome. Okay, so we'll get through these ones. The bird dogs, 10 and 10. Again, switching sides, doing the same thing on the other side. Very nice. Okay, so we'll get that done. Once you're finished, don't go anywhere, because we have one more down here, which is going to be a hip circle, all about the hips. So as you finish up those bird dogs, we're going to stay in the same position. Lift up one leg, 90 degrees at the knee is going to stay as we lift the leg up towards the side and then kick it, rotate it back, making a circle motion with our knee, with our hip, 5 one direction. So we'll go through 5 circles one way, and then we'll stop and we'll do 5 the other direction. So we'll take 5 circles both ways. You might feel like you sort of want to turn and twist your body, but we're going to try to avoid that and keep that hip pushed down, trying to not open up to the side, but rather make your glute do the work, which is probably what we're feeling here. So we'll do this same thing. We have to keep it even, doing it on both sides. 5 circles one way, and then we'll go 5 the other. And then, of course, we have to do the leg. So I'll let you guys get that done. 5 and 5, both sides, of course. Awesome. There you go. All right, so get that moving, warming up, waking up the glutes. You know, we're probably still maybe feeling a little residual from the last couple days. One more movement that we are going to do to conclude this warm-up, and it is going to start again in the squat stance. So we'll step our feet a little wider than our hips. We'll keep that ankle in the toes. We're going to sit down into a squat, try to bring both hands down to the floor, and then stand, reaching over to one side. We're going to pivot that foot, turn the hips towards the side that we're reaching, and then we come back down, and then we do the other side, the squat, and the reach, and we'll feel that nice opening stretch through the hip, the one that we're reaching away from, and we'll go through 10 of these total, 5 on each side. So we'll try to shoot up onto the toe, turn the toe and hips so that we're getting that feeling, that opening, stretching feeling in the front of the hip. 10 of them. And then we are going to get you started on our first little circuit that we have going on. So while you guys finish that up, I am going to set our timer for this first part. Okay, so as you do finish up the squat to reach, you can grab a little bit of water. We are going to use our jump rope, so you can go ahead and bring that guy out if you have it. If you want to use it, that is. Some of us have them and might not want to use them, and that's okay as well. We are going to have one movement that is going to be jumping of the rope. That is going to be the second one, though. So we'll keep the jump rope close. There we go. We are set. Okay, so today for our conditioning work that we're going to do, we have 3 different mini circuits that we're going to work through. Each of them consists of 2 exercises. So we're going to have 2 movements paired together, followed by a little rest period. 1 minute is our time frame that we're going to spend on each of these exercises. So we'll have exercise 1, 1 minute, exercise 2, 1 minute, and then our last 1 minute is going to be a rest round, okay? So each full set takes 3 minutes. We are doing 3 rounds, so you only have 3 chances to do each of these exercises. So starting off with the very first one, we're going to be working with an invisible ball slam. So you're not on the timer yet, so you can just practice with me or just watch me, that's okay. Squat stance in our feet, which we had a lot of practice in our warm-up. We're gonna hold that invisible ball in our hands, push it up over our head, and then exhale and try to slam it down, be as powerful, as explosive as possible on the way down. 1 minute, my friends. And then after that timer beeps, keep your jump rope close because we're going right into a set of our jump rope, which again, if you don't have a jump rope, I have lots of options, including low impact options for those of us who don't jump, that you can do instead of actually jumping the rope. Okay, so pretty straightforward, yes. 3 sets total. We're gonna get you started with the first one, started with the ball slams, the invisible ones, starting in 5 seconds. So take a couple deep breaths. 3, 2, 1, and let's go. First set, let's do it. So it's an awesome low impact exercise. We're not jumping, we're not leaving the floor. We're trying to exhale and squat down and be as powerful as possible on the way down. The way up is a little bit slower, a little bit more controlled. We're sort of building up and gearing up the power to use on the way down. So I'll let you guys go through this one for your very first set, which you are already halfway through. We have 30 seconds left. I know my bun is gonna fall out like crazy anytime we do conditioning. There we go. Okay, so we'll breathe through these ones. Again, we want the exhale on the way down. So we're inhaling on the way up, and then we want to use all that air inside of us to breathe out so we can be as powerful, as intense on the way down as possible. 3, 2, 1, and time. So no transition period. We're going right into the next one. You can grab onto your jump rope. If you don't have a jump rope, you want to follow along doing your imaginary jump rope, carrying on with the imaginary theme. We can also just tap our toes like this. If you're low impact, you can step forward and backward over line, or you can sub in for a knee to elbow. So we have lots of options. You've already started and you have 30 seconds left, okay? So whatever you're doing right now, we are going to stay consistent with on the next 2 rounds. Now remember, we have a full minute of rest after this. So let's try to push ourselves here, although this is our first set, but we will still try to build up that intensity. So we're working a little bit faster now compared to the beginning of the minute. There you go. 3, 2, 1, and totally rest. So we're gonna put that rope down. Take some deep breaths. This first set here, probably feeling pretty good still, although our heart rate is definitely getting up there. But we're going to do the same thing 2 more rounds. So again, we're gonna have this 1 minute between the next 2 rounds as well. So we are going to try to do something maybe a little stronger, a little faster than we did in that first set. So we'll take again this 30 seconds here, grab some water, and we're taking breaths. Get ourselves mentally prepared for the second set of these invisible ball slams. Now again, these ones can be really easy, like most of our body weight exercises, especially the conditioning ones. So let's really try to get a difference between the way down and the way up. The way down should be much faster, much more explosive than the way up. So we'll see if we can lock that in. 3, 2, and let's go. So we'll try to exhale, slam those arms down in between the legs. Okay, most of us have done actual real ball slams with an actual slam ball in the gym or somewhere, and so you know that you have to really chuck that thing. You have to throw that ball with everything that you have inside you in order to get it to come back up to you a little tiny bit. That has 30 seconds left. So again, we'll pace ourselves as well so that we don't have to stop, because we don't want to waste any of our time in this working minute resting, because we know we have a lot of time to rest in that 1 minute after our jump rope round. Okay, 15 seconds left. Let's try to push ourselves through at least 5 more. Yes, all the way up, all the way down, slamming that air. There you go. Second last time we're here. Again, we're doing 3 rounds. Woohoo! And time. So we'll go right into that jump rope, grabbing onto it, starting right away. going through our second set. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so again, as long as you are moving. Again, if you don't have space to jump rope, we can tap our toes like this. Okay, we can work with, again, our knee to elbow for low impact. Great option. But again, you have to hustle. You have to push yourself here because these ones, even jump rope itself, it can be kind of easy if you just kind of mosey along and take your time with it. It's not why we're here. We're here to push ourselves, especially now. Our body knows what's going on, knows what to expect. 10 seconds left. There it is. So whatever you got, hold it here. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, so we have our minute-long rest round, which we're going to feel like we probably need a little bit more on the second set. But again, pretty good compared to how we probably will feel in the next 2 circuits that we're going to do. We will see. So once again, we're going to take this time to try to calm ourselves down. The whole goal of having this rest is so that you can come back down to a more normal level. Maybe not the most normal, like just getting out of bed normal, but you're still going to feel your heart pumping. But we don't want to be completely huffing and puffing for air. So we'll try to take those deep belly breaths, chest breaths, just try to get that air in, calm ourselves down. 15 seconds left until we are going to go into our final set of these 2. Again, we have 3 of these little mini circuits. This is the first one. Good news. All right, so get yourself ready. Last final set of our slams. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Last round, so we'll try to get the legs moving. Sit our butts all the way down to 90 degrees. Use the legs to stand yourself up, sit yourself down so that you're not bending over, but rather we are getting our hips, butt down to 90 degrees. Into that squat. The legs are burning a little bit. Part of the deal. There you go. So we'll try to just stay consistent here for the next 30 seconds that we have left. Awesome. Okay, slamming that air. So again, we want to breathe, use that breath. We know that exhale, that's our power. So we'll use it on the way down, especially now. We're starting to get tired. Last couple, let's go. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right, right into the next one. Let's go. Hustling, no time in between to rest. Not yet, not until we are done here in this next minute. And remember that this is the last round of these ones, which is nice. So again, we'll push ourselves here so that we get the most out of these first 2 exercises, which hopefully if you are doing the jump rope and joining in, you're feeling a little better than you did the past 2 weeks doing it. 20 seconds left. It's an underdog for sure. It's much more challenging than it looks. Coordination on the brain as well as on the body, the heart, the lungs. 10 seconds left. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We're still gonna have 1 minute after this to rest, recover before we go into our second circuit. And that starts in 3, 2, 1. All right, my friends, nice work. So we have this minute running on the clock here. There we go. And we're going to take this time here for you to listen in on what you are doing for the next circuit. So for the next one here, we're going to use our dumbbells. For the very first one, we're going to have the dumbbells set up like this. So we want a couple feet of space in between the dumbbells. We're going to come to one side with our knee up, and we're going 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, you don't have to use dumbbells if you don't have them. We can always lay down our glute bands instead of the dumbbells, but we want a reference point, okay? So again, if you have absolutely nothing, you can put a couple towels down, something like that. So that's going to be our first one, and our second one is a plank pull through. So I'm going to turn off this timer because it is done in about 10 seconds to avoid that loud beep. Second one, once we're finished our minute of this one, we're going down onto the floor into a plank position where we're going to Plank jack, and then pull the dumbbell through. Plank jack, pull the dumbbell through. And that is us for our second minute, okay? So let's set ourselves up for that first one, setting up the dumbbells, the bands, or again, if you just have imaginary lines, that's okay too. And we're gonna get you started in 5 seconds on this first one, that lateral high knee. So we wanna have the knee come up, 1, 2, 3, with the arms and legs together, and let's go. Starting our first set right now, let's do it. Now, if you're low impact, I want a nice high march, knees coming up, arms moving with the legs, and let's do it. First set. There you go. So same idea here. We're going through 3 rounds total of these ones. Awesome. And I highly recommend, for safety reasons, that you watch your feet. Look down, and you make sure that you are not going to accidentally step on the dumbbells, especially if you're actually using dumbbells or something raised off the floor. If you're using bands, it's not such a big deal. You can kind of step on the band, but if you step on the dumbbell, bad things are going to happen, like you potentially falling or rolling an ankle, and you don't want any of that. 10 seconds left. There you go. All right, last couple, knees up. 3, 2, 1, and time. So we'll go move one of those out of the way, right down into that plank, and we're gonna again jack, and then pull through. Jack, and then pull through. If you are low impact, we're gonna tap the feet rather than jump the feet. And this is us for this minute. You got it. Okay, so we'll push through this. Halfway through, we have 30 seconds left on this one. Again, a little bit of coordination. We have to think about this here because we have this little combination move with the plank jack and then the pull through. So between every pull through, when we're pulling away from that arm that's on the floor, we want to jump our feet in and out, having as much control in our hips, but not lifting up into the air. Yes, 5 seconds left. 3, 2, and rest. All right, we made it through the first set. So first round is done. We're now on our minute rest period. So you can stand up, take a couple seconds down there if you need. Stand on up, grab some water. We're going to set our dumbbells back up for that first one that we did. Okay, and again, walking will help you overall feel a little bit better and let your heart rate come down more efficiently than you just standing still or like leaning against the wall or like sitting on your chair or bench or whatever it is. So you can do a couple laps around the space that you have. Again, trying to breathe. Bring your water with you. Take 6, 10 seconds left until we are going into our second of the 3 sets of these ones. So back to this first one, starting in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. So opposite arms, opposite legs. We want to build up our pace as we go through this so that we end up going way faster than we started, okay? Or at least maintain so that we do not slow down. Also making sure that your knees are coming up between each rep the whole time, okay? Low impact, high impact, whatever you're doing, we want to get those knees up because that's the hard part here. We're doing this with the knees down. It's much less work than lifting them up, which is part of the menu. So let's try to get those knees up. 15 seconds left. There you go. Awesome. Arms and legs. Let's get it. Finishing strong here. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and right away, let's do it. Down to our plank. So again, we'll have one dumbbell here, jack the feet, pull the dumbbell. So we'll try to control the hips, and so they're not shifting too much side to side or lifting. And yes, we're getting lots of sneaky core work in here. Again, if you're controlling that, if you're allowing your hips to do this and open and tilt and lift up, you're not going to get that core work, okay? I know you want it, whether you like it or not. 20 seconds left. So we'll try to tighten up the hips. Before you lift up the dumbbell, try to stabilize, squeeze your butt and tighten up so that there's no movement as you're moving that dumbbell. 15 seconds left. Let's do it. Very nice. Okay, pushing ourselves here. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Awesome work. Okay, resting. So we're gonna take this minute. It's already started to rest, to recover, and to maybe do a couple laps around our space, and to get ourselves ready for our final set. 3 rounds. It's kind of nice. It's like short and maybe not so sweet, but yes. Okay, so we'll set ourselves up here for our last set of these lateral high knees. Now what I want you to think about here in this final set, because again, your body knows what's up now. I've already done this twice. We're going to try to think about an A and a B point. We're trying to get from A to B, from one side to the other, as fast as possible. So as we go through, we can take a little bit of time on each side, but as we go through, I prefer you to have that explosive power over you, just kind of, okay, so you're gonna get much more out of this, and let's go, because that was your starting beat. If you, again, try to hustle your way from side to side, and really just find, again, that sort of uncomfortable feeling that we know, that's why we're here. 40 seconds left. Last time you are doing this one day for the week, so let's do it as strong as we can. 30 seconds left. There we go. Arms and legs. Perfect. Okay. And breathing. 15 seconds left. We'll try to get there and back a couple more times. There it is. Okay, one more time. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, move that dumbbell away. Final set of our jack to pull through. Okay, so we'll finish up strong here. Whoops. Last round, 45 seconds left. We've got this. Okay, so at least we're maintaining a plank. Whatever you're doing, I do not want you to drop down onto your knees. You're gonna stay in that plank, even if you have to slow down. Maybe you're not going quite as fast here. But do not give up on that plank position. 20 seconds left. There you go. Okay, so push yourself through. Last final set of this one. Let's go. 10 seconds left. Come on, come on, come on. 3, 2, 1, rest. Oh, my friends. All right, so we're gonna take this minute right now. Woo! To just calm down, bring our heart rates down a little bit here. And once again, listen in to see what's up for our last one, which is the same style. So we're going to be working with our 1 minute, 1 minute, and then our 1 minute of rest. And pull them up here. Yes. Okay. So for this final one here, all we need is space. We're going to be working with our mats. So I'm going to move my dumbbells out of the way. And you don't necessarily have to stay on your mat. So if you have somewhere that you can actually kind of go forward past where my bookshelf is here, then what you can do for our broad jump to back shuffle, you can do more than one of these jumps. So I'm going to turn off this timer so we don't hear our beep. So again, we can go 1, 2, and then you can back shuffle all the way back to your starting point. If you have that room, you can even do 3 or 4 of those broad jumps. If you're low impact, if you don't jump, we're going to sit down and step, 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 and then we'll just do a light back shuffle back. The entire time we want to stay in this athletic position. So that's our first one, all right? Second one is going to be a lateral bear crawl. So we're going to get down into our bear crawling position. I'm going to show you sideways here, but I'm actually going to do this one this way because I have a bit more space. But we want to be on our hands and knees like this. Shoulders on the wrists, hips on the knees. Pop off the knees, opposite arm, opposite leg are going to walk us all the way down the space that we have. And then we'll walk ourselves all the way back. And that is us for our second minute. Following that one, we're going to have that 1 minute of rest. And once again, we're doing 3 sets of this total. All right. Are you ready? Ready as you're ever going to be? The last circuit of the day, starting off with that broad jump to back shuffle. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So squat stance, jumping forward, back pedaling back to where we started. Again, we want to stay low the entire time. We don't have to be down in a squat, but we do want to stay with the knees bent. There you go. Let's get it. Okay, breathing through these ones, landing nice and soft as we go through that broad jump. Soft landing. And then we'll take lots of little steps to get back to our starting point. 30 seconds left. Halfway there. Nice work. Okay, so breathe. Try to pace ourselves. 15 more seconds. Awesome. Using the arms. Perfect. Okay, so strong finish here. 3, 2, 1, and right into that next one. So we'll head down onto the floor, hands and knees, opposite hand, opposite foot. We'll try to connect those two. The other thing we want to do on this one, so I showed you sideways here, is to keep your hips stable so that our hips aren't rocking and shifting, but rather they stay so still that if you had a glass of water on your back, it wouldn't spill because you kept your hips so tight. Don't actually try that because you might end up spilling it, but 30 seconds left. We'll try to think about that, stabilizing those hips. And again, connecting our feet and our hands. So we have our opposite foot and opposite hand, taking those steps together. 15 seconds left. This one, potentially the hardest one. Maybe. Maybe because it's the last one, but also maybe because it's just got a lot of stuff going on here. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Nice job. Stand up. Take some deep breaths. Grab some water. Once again, you might want to just keep moving, walking around the space that we have, because we know that that just overall helps us feel a little bit better. And we are going to do it again. 2 more rounds. So we're going back to that first one, our broad jump to back shuffle. Starting in 30 seconds though. So you have lots of time here to rest, recover, so that you can be at a place where you're going to be able to push yourself. So you have a stronger set. I want you doing more on the second set. And that's in 15 seconds. Okay, so a couple more deep breaths. Bringing ourselves down. We can come on to this place you're going to start because we are starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. I'm trying to work through this one. Okay, again, stay light on our feet from the jump to the back shuffle. And again, we're going for more of those fast feet on that back shuffle. The more you can do of those, the harder on your brain, on your body. There it is. On your burning legs. Okay, 30 seconds left, my friends. Let's do this. Pushing ourselves through. There you go. Okay, 20 seconds. We got this. Second last time we're here. Through our nice 3 sets. Let's keep it moving here. 10 seconds left. Let's go for 2 more. Jump, back shuffle. 1 more. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, and down we go into that bear crawl. So again, if you don't have as much space, you just take as many steps as you have space for. Okay, but again, if you have more room, you can go all the way down that same length of your mat, or that same length that you were doing your broad jump to back shuffles in. It really doesn't matter. Sometimes I find a longer distance makes it a little less tedious because you don't have to go back and forth so many times, but completely up to you. Most important is that you're staying in that off-knee position and that we are keeping our core tight so we're not shifting, tilting our hips. 20 seconds left. Let's get it. Oh yeah, the lateral bear crawl is always way harder than they look. 10 more seconds. You have this. We're going to rest a little. We have one more set, and then we are done the hard work for today. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Woo. Resting 60 seconds because we are probably really feeling like we need that by now at this point in the session. So again, we'll try to bring ourselves back down. Breathe. Water. We have one more final set that we are going to do. After this, we're going to cool you down and give you a nice stretch that we're all going to do together, which is always nice because then you get it in. You don't have to think about making more time or anything like that. Okay, so 20 more seconds here before we start our final set of the work for today. So this is it. Basically, 2 more minutes of your life. I think you can handle this. I think so. We will see. Okay, 10 more seconds here for you to get yourself ready into your squat stance. Okay, again, end of the mat. Deep breath. We'll get ourselves down, arms down, ready, and let's go. Going through our last and final set of these 2. This is it. So push ourselves. Try to keep ourselves moving as quick as possible this entire time. Getting as many of these in as you can. Again, control is almost more important. You want to make sure that we're in that forward position. There it is. Okay, 25 seconds left. Let's see if we can go 3, maybe 4 more of those. So forward, back shuffle. Oh yes, let's get it. Come on, come on. 10 seconds left. Last chance for this one. Yes, last one. 3, 2, 1. Time. All right, right into the bear crawl. Let's go. Let's get it. Get down there and let's do it. Final set. Again, we'll try to really connect those opposite limbs. Sometimes we have to kind of slow down a little bit, especially on the first few passes that we're going back and forth. And just find your opposite arm, your opposite leg to take those steps together. Makes a big difference on, again, that core work, that opposite side core work that we're getting. And it's not the most natural. Sometimes we feel like we want to move the same side at the same time. So again, we do have to kind of think about it a little bit more, which I'm always making you do up in here. 20 seconds left and you are done this one. So we'll try to keep it strong. And breathing through these ones. Holding that off-knee position, not allowing your butt to shoot up. Stay with us. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, my friends. So what I'm going to do now is put us on a timer for 2 minutes. And all I want you to do for the next 2 minutes is rest, which is sounding probably pretty good right now. So we're going to take this time here to just breathe and grab some water. Bring ourselves back down to, again, a much more normal level than we were feeling between our sets because we are done our sets, which is good news. All we're going to do now is have a nice stretch session where we're going to do these static or holding stretches together. Now, something that you are going to need, I am going to be using this here jump rope for a assisted hamstring stretch. Now, if you don't have a jump rope or something like this, you can always use a long band, okay? Preferably a stronger one. This one's quite weak, but it'll work. Or we can just use our hands, which I'm going to talk about, okay? But before we even think about any of that, we want you back down where you could actually maintain and hold down a conversation without breathing so heavy, which you probably are right now. So we're going to take, again, 1 more minute of our 2 to just breathe, rest, drink water, move around the space that we have, and all of the above, before we head on down to the floor, where we're going to be staying until the end here, okay? So you can set yourself up, plug in my charger over here. You can set yourself up to stay. I'm going to angle us down a little bit here, where we're going to hang out and get these stretches in. All right. So our timer here is going to go off in about 20 seconds. I'm just going to turn it off, because you might need a little bit longer. You might be feeling good to go right now. If you need a couple more seconds, or maybe even another minute or so, take your time, okay? You can just watch me for this first part and come and join in when we actually start our timer stretch. But again, we're going to be using this jump rope not for jumping up the rope, but for a tool that we can put around our foot like this, so that I can pull in my hamstring stretch a little bit more comfortably than if I just use my hands or my arms like this, okay? Which is exactly what you're going to do if you don't have something like this. Again, you can use pretty much anything, from a long towel to a sweater to a belt to a jump rope, a band, whatever it is, okay? So what we're going to do is actually put you on a timer. This timer is not going to beep, but I'm going to have it running beside me here to time us through a 60-second hold in this stretch. So the first thing we want to do is lay on our back and wrap that whatever around our foot so that we have a leg. Now, some of us are going to be down here, others might be up here, but it's important that the leg is straight. And I'm talking completely straight. So what we're going to do is hold this here and find that position where we're feeling a big stretch down the hamstring, the back of the leg. We also might be feeling some stuff in the back of the calf. We're going to hold this here with that nice straight leg. So we'll just breathe into this for the first 20 seconds. You can think about pointing your foot down towards your face rather than pointing it up to the ceiling, so that we feel, again, maybe a little deeper of a stretch. We want to also make sure that our hip is staying down on the floor. So if I'm pulling in so much that my butt is lifting off, that's too much. So we'll just ease off that a little bit. And again, we'll try to find that straight leg. What we're going to do now is add a soft knee. So again, I have a locked out leg, and then I'm going to soften out my knee here and try to exhale and pull it in a little bit closer. And we're not forcing anything, but we are maybe able to pull it in a little more, as we've been sitting in this position now for in about 30 seconds. For this last little bit, what I'm going to do is keep this right here, and I'm going to actively think about driving my heel down towards the floor. So we're going to do a 10-second hold where I push that down. It shouldn't actually move. I just let it move a little so you can see. So we're going to push down, and I'm going to keep this tension, and we'll feel some work happening in the back of the leg. We're going to hold that there for 10 seconds, which we have about 3, 2, and then I'm going to release that push and see if I can pull in my leg a little bit closer. So this is our active passive stretches, where we have an active part and a passive part. So we're going to do that 2 more times. Again, exhale, pushing that heel down towards the floor. And if you're not using the rope or something, we're just holding our leg like this with the same idea with the push. And again, we'll release in 3, 2, and you can release and see if we can pull it in. So by doing this sort of active passive stretching situation, we should be able to gain a bit more range of motion. So we should be able to have this leg up a bit higher in theory, although it's not, every day is different, everyone's body's different. So we'll do that one more time. Again, exhale, push down, holding here 10 seconds, and maybe a little shaky, feeling the work in the hamstring and the glutes. Holding it here, 3, 2, and then we'll release that stretch and finish off with one more little hold here on this one. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling a little looser in the back of the hamstring there. We are going to release that and switch sides. So you can just go ahead and switch legs, switch sides, and we're going to do the same thing over here, starting again with that locked out leg. So we want to find that position there, wherever it is. It might be a little lower, a little higher on this side. We know both our sides are a bit different. Making sure the toe is pointed towards the face. And we're going to spend again the first 20 seconds in this locked out position, just opening up the back of the leg, back of the calf. You stretchy stretch. Feels quite nice after all the stuff we did yesterday, the day before. Okay, so we'll soften out the knee, and again, we'll see if we can pull that guy in a little bit closer. We're gonna hold this here. Breathe into this, just nice controlled breaths. Again, following that active stretch, which is gonna start in 3, 2, and pushing that heel down towards the floor. And we wanna keep the knees soft. And we'll hold this here for a 10-second count, which I'm counting for you if you joined in with me. 3, 2, and release. And we'll try to pull it up a little bit higher. For some of us, again, we might not even gain that much range, but we might just feel a bit more comfortable. So rather than feeling like really tight with your leg up like this, you might just be able to have this position be set. Okay, next one, exhale, pushing down, heel to the floor. Okay, stretching, holding. 3, 2, and release. Okay, we have one more that we're going to do of that one, and then we have one more stretch that we are going to go through. All right, so last one, exhale and pushing down, holding it here. Going through a couple breath cycles. Okay, 3, 2, and release. So we'll hold this last stretch here in sort of relaxed position, more relaxed than we were at first. And we'll hold this here, stretching it out, the hamstring. And then we can slowly release that. We'll put this guy aside, and we're going to sit up and reinforce what we just did. So we can straighten out our legs, try to get the whole bottom of the leg on the floor, pointing our toes up towards the ceiling, sitting so that we have a nice flat back. We don't want to be rounded. We want to find that nice posture. And we're going to walk our hands forward with that flat back until we feel that really big stretch in the back of the legs. We're just going to hang out here for about 20 seconds. So holding a stretch here. The hamstrings, we might feel again the calves, the lower leg, maybe a little bit in the glutes. And we will hold it. 10 more seconds. And some of us are going to be way more forward than me. Maybe some of us might even not be this far forward. Just depends on you and what you're feeling. You should feel the back of the legs opening from the heels all the way up to the hips. Okay, so the last stretch that we're going to do together today is a little bit more simple than that little passive active situation. We're going to lay down on our side, all the way down, and we're going to get our bow and arrow action going. So we're going to start off with stacking ourselves up, taking the top leg and weaving it under the bottom like so. I want us all to try this, see how we feel now. We've done all this stuff. Also, we want to make sure we have some space behind and above our head, because we're going to exhale and cross the body, trying to bring this hand down onto the floor. And then we're going to hit 3 points. So I want to go straight across, and then I'm going to try to come up on an angle, and then straight up above my head, touching my hand to the floor, and then I'll be back to where I started. We'll do that 2 more times. So we can exhale, a little bit of movement in this one. Okay, so we go 1, and then we go angle. We go right above the head. That's 2. We'll do this 1 more time. Crossing. Okay. And again, if you cannot touch the floor, we'll just go in that direction. Back to where we started. And then this last one, we're going to cross and hold for about 30 seconds. Now, if you're feeling again like your shoulder, your arm are way up here, then what you can do for our hold is release your legs and stack them rather than having them weaved. And see if that makes it feel a little bit more comfortable in our holding position, because we're spending more time in it. 30 seconds. So we'll feel our lower back, hips, as well as our chest and shoulders opening up as we hang out here in this bow and arrow stretch. So we'll take some deep breaths here. Inhaling And then exhaling and try to sink into the stretch. Relax that shoulder down, relax the knees down. Overall, try to just rotate into the stretch. I'll take one more deep breath. Okay, and then we can come back and we shall switch sides. So I'm just gonna turn around so I can still see y'all. So we'll switch around here and we'll go back to this first one. Again, weaving the leg, stacking the arms, making sure we have some room, crossing the body, trying to touch the floor. Again, if you don't quite have the room like me over here, I'm just gonna keep my arm bent, but I'll still try to touch the floor. And then we reach up above the head, and then we're back to where we started. We'll do that 3 times total. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's 2. One more. Taking our time with it. 2, 3. All right. And then the last one, again, we're going to bring it on over and hold. So same rules apply. If you need to, you can release the legs and stack them instead. And then again, we can cross, opening up that shoulders, chest, and overall just breathing into this full body stretch. So we'll take another 20 seconds here. Deep breaths, really nice. Feel so good, should feel good, should feel comfortable. Okay, sometimes if you're quite tight, this one does not feel comfortable. So again, it will get better in time and practice. Okay, so we'll come back up and over. And if my calculations are correct, and yes, we do have time for one more stretch. So what we're going to do is get our final one in, which is for our hip flexors. So we're going to take this half kneeling position. If your mat's kind of flimsy like mine, what we can do is double it up like this so that we have a little bit more support for our kneecap. I'm going to hold on to the wall. And on the side that I'm kneeling on, which should be the opposite side from the wall, I'm going to reach this arm up and over towards the wall. So I'm getting a little bit of that side bending action here. So it's really important that we hold on so we don't have to worry about balance. It's also important that we have this pelvic tilt going on, that we're not pushing our hips back like this, but rather we're sort of tilting them under. You can also think about squeezing your butt. And that's going to give us that nice opening stretch through the front of the hip flexors, and we're going to hang out here for another 30 seconds on this side. Now, for some of us, again, this overhead reach might make this hip stretch way too deep, in which case we can just sort of back off the hips a bit, but we're going to keep this overhead reach so we can involve all the stuff down the side of our body, the sides of our abdomen, and get that nice opening feeling going. So again, we'll breathe in, try to reach up to the ceiling, and then exhale and try to breathe into this stretch. 10 more seconds. Okay, so we'll calm down, we'll release that arm, release the leg, and we'll switch sides. So I'm going to turn around all the way so that I can still face you guys here, and then I switch. Almost messed up my legs. Okay, so hips, again, we'll find that position in the hips first, and then we will go through that reach over to the wall second. And breathe. So we'll take, again, this 30 seconds here to just hold this stretch. Very nice. Feels so good after all the stuff we did. We did a lot of sneaky work for the hips and the core today. So again, this is going to help loosen them up. And this is a really good one to do, especially if you have tight hips or if you have a tight, sensitive lower back. You can feel free to come back and do a couple more sets of this one specifically, because as we release that arm, you, my friends, are done with me. So again, we are finished here. If there's any other stretches that you would like to do, please feel free to throw them in. But you guys are done with me on this Wednesday. Thank you so much. And hopefully you feel good. And hopefully I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, Tanis and Darcy, hanging out in the Zoom room. I'll see you guys soon. And my replay watchers, You can drop a comment below so I know you were here. I know you did this. Let me know how you feel throughout the work as well as through that little stretch session that we did. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time.